Somewhere in America right now, a cashier is asking an ordinary question. Would you like a receipt? You've answered that question hundreds of times in your life. You've never once thought about it twice. Somewhere inside that split-second choice, a classified Foundation anomaly may already be quietly doing its job. This is SCP-4559. And it might be the smallest, strangest, most essential Thaumiel class asset this channel has ever covered. Last episode, this channel covered a Thaumiel class facility the size of a national park, built to rebuild humanity itself. This file is almost the exact opposite. No facility, no chamber, no army of staff who can never go home. Just a single, tiny moment of everyday human choice, quietly reclassified by the O5 Council into one of the Foundation's most useful tools. If SCP-2000 showed you Thaumiel at its most enormous, this file shows you Thaumiel at its most invisible. This channel's orientation episode described Thaumiel objects as so classified that even their existence is rarely known outside the O5 Council. It's strange to think that clearance requirement applies just as much to a receipt as it does to a facility the size of a park. SCP-4559 is a probabilistic anomaly tied to one specific moment, a customer being asked whether they want a receipt. Not every checkout counts. If store policy always hands over a receipt automatically, the anomaly never triggers at all. If a receipt is given without ever asking the customer's permission first, it doesn't trigger either. The anomaly only activates the moment a real, genuine choice is actually presented and actually made. It's a strangely narrow, almost bureaucratic set of conditions for something this classified to depend on. Millions of receipts print every single day across the country. Only a small fraction of them ever actually matter to this file. This channel's orientation episode explained how carefully this archive defines what actually counts as an anomaly's trigger condition. This file takes that precision to an almost absurd degree for something this small. A forced yes doesn't count. An automatic yes doesn't count. It has to be a person freely deciding in that exact ordinary moment with nothing forcing the outcome either way. Out of every anomaly this channel has covered, this might be the only one whose entire mechanism depends on genuine free will functioning correctly. That requirement alone rules out almost every checkout in the country purely by how each individual store happens to run its policy. When the trigger condition is met, the outcome of that choice becomes something no ordinary probability model can predict or reproduce. Not biased, not patterned, not something a computer or a sufficiently clever anomaly could ever learn to anticipate in advance. In a world where almost everything can eventually be predicted, copied, or reverse engineered, this file produces something genuinely, permanently random. For an organization built on control, that kind of true unpredictability is rare enough to be worth protecting. It's a strange kind of asset to prize this highly. Not power, not knowledge. Simple, guaranteed uncertainty. The containment procedures for this file are almost embarrassingly short compared to everything else this channel has covered. No extensive procedures are currently necessary. The Foundation doesn't need to lock this anomaly anywhere. It happens by itself, constantly, everywhere. The only real task is making sure nobody outside the Foundation ever studies the phenomenon closely enough to notice it's real. Any outside research that gets too close is quietly dismissed as flawed under the guise of incorrect information. It's one of the cheapest, quietest containment strategies this channel has ever documented for one of the most structurally important files on record. For a while, this file sat quietly in the archive as a strange, minor curiosity. Then the O5 Council found a use for it. By formal order, SCP-4559 was reclassified Thaumiel, specifically for its use containing anomalies that require a genuine random number generator. A tiny, mundane probability quirk tied to grocery store receipts became, officially, one of the Foundation's more valuable assets. It's a rare kind of promotion inside this archive. Not discovered to be more dangerous, discovered to be more useful. Here's where this file goes from quirky to genuinely enormous in scope. The Hensworth/Alice number generator. It draws on security camera footage from nearly 20,000 grocery stores across the United States, analyzing checkout footage constantly and using every triggered instance of SCP-4559 to generate a genuinely random integer. Every single one of those 20,000 stores has no idea it's quietly powering a piece of classified infrastructure. 2 names sit behind that system, Hensworth and Alice, credited without further explanation anywhere in the file. Whoever they were, their names now sit quietly behind one of the largest passive surveillance networks in the Foundation's entire operation. As of the file's last update, this single system is being used in the containment of 39 safe-class anomalies, 21 Euclid-class anomalies, 8 Keter-class anomalies, and 2 other Thaumiel-class anomalies besides itself. Somewhere on that list is very likely an anomaly this channel has already covered, or will cover in a future episode. All of it, quietly, structurally dependent on whether strangers in grocery stores keep saying yes or no to a receipt. 70 anomalies in total across nearly every classification this channel has ever explained, quietly resting on one small probabilistic quirk. It's worth asking why the Foundation needed a system this elaborate just to generate random numbers at all. Ordinary computers generate numbers using formulas. Given enough time and intelligence, a formula can eventually be predicted. Some of the anomalies on that dependency list are intelligent enough or dangerous enough that a predictable containment system could be exploited. A containment method that can be predicted is, eventually, a containment method that can be defeated from the inside. This file exists because somewhere, something needed a coin flip that could never, under any circumstances, be called in advance. It's a quiet, almost poetic solution. The one thing no intelligent anomaly could ever reverse engineer turned out to be an ordinary stranger's mood. So that's SCP-4559. Would you like a receipt, not a monster, not a facility? A single ordinary question, asked constantly, everywhere, by people who have no idea what it's actually doing. 39 safe anomalies, 21 Euclid, 8 Keter, 2 more Thaumiel besides itself, all resting quietly on strangers answering yes or no at a register. The next time someone asks if you'd like your receipt, you're not just making a small decision about a piece of paper. I'm Shroudex, see you in the dark. And yes, I'd like my receipt,